What's up, guys? It's Rob. I've got something I just really need to share with you. It's really just kind of been working on me for the last few hours, and I just wanted to get it out. It's that concept. It's not about you, bro. At least that's how I always heard it. I remember hearing this when I was early in recovery, and I just could not quite grasp it. Like, I was really wondering if, like, the conversation wasn't about me. Like, am I just being too nosy? Like, what are you talking about? Because it's not about me. And me being the person that I was and self-conscious that I was, like, I needed to know. But it just would never quite sink into my heart. But I grew up a little bit. I got a little wiser in my years, and I came to understand that whole concept, it's not about you, bro, means that my life is not about me. Like, there are people watching, there are things that need to be done, there are people who depend on me, and I have to get those things done regardless. I look back on my life, and I can remember when I was younger, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. She had a double mastectomy, and I can look at it, and I do not remember my mother even so much as taking a day off work. She had this life-altering surgery that would cripple most women, but she stood up and went to work. She was still there. She was my mother. She never let me see her frown, and I can only imagine how broken she probably was inside and how unsure she was about the future. My mom stood up and beast moded that, and it was the coolest thing that I'd ever seen, because Mom knew that there were things that had to be done. Like, she knew that there were bills that had to be paid. She knew that her family needed to see what a leader looked like. Because today, me being older, I can replicate that because I've already seen it done. And that's the coolest thing I've ever seen, is the fact that my mom showed me at such a young age exactly how a man is supposed to live. Like, we are supposed to show up. It's not about us, there's people watching. And people ask me all the time, they're like, hey Rob, like, why do you go so hard? Why are you always here? Like, you should just go ahead and go home and take a day off. No, there's people watching. I do what I do because I want one of those guys that I have influence over, to catch me in the act of excellence. And I can give that all back to my mother. Like, she showed me exactly how to do it. That's the concept. It's not about you, bro. But God bless, and please remember that prison is not a prerequisite for success. College is.